Hello everybody, Thy Lord Root here, and we are playing Dyson Sphere Program. I just recently bought this game, and I maybe have a few hours in it, but I was really itching to see it from, I guess, some of the footage that I've seen. So if you want to join along, this is my seed. We are leaving the Dark Fog on. Even though this is my first playthrough, my experience has told me that it's really not so bad. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and start the game. I may or may not let the intro play out, just sort of depending on the sound levels. So we'll see you either way. Okay, so we're going to be landing pretty soon here. Hopefully, it looks like we're in the Singer system. Hopefully this bit will come through on audio. I do want to mention...
Welcome to the real universe. Very soon, you'll find this place different from our homeland. But you should be able to adapt to the laws of physics here in no time.
Well, thank you for
I'm your
interrupting
advisor.
me.
I will assist you in completing this mission.
He apparently doesn't have a name. But I think we're called Icarus. So yeah, I guess we'll do our solar system tour.
Everything here belongs to you. As a member of the Cosmo, a pioneer of the Dyson Sphere Program, you will explore this cluster from ground zero. Make use of the resources available here to build a Dyson Sphere that supplies energy to the center brain to maintain homeland simulation. I've chosen a planet for the mission, and there are essential resources for the initial development. Now, please pilot the space capsule toward this planet.
They actually, there's no way you can pilot away from it, as it turns out. You'll see this little guy over here. The thing that looks a little bit like a crosshair. That is the Dark Fog. And its little space elevator.
Unknown EM signals detected. Extracting feature variables. Comparing with database. Those are highly likely anomalous mechanical bodies from the mechanic energy program. Engineers call them dark fog. Dark fog is extremely sensitive to EM signals under a regular pattern, so they may launch an assault on us. To stay low profile, we will land on the other side of this planet.
So this is another thing about the Dark Fog that I don't quite get. They say they're sensitive to EM, but they do just fine in light.
This is Icarus, a very powerful but lightweight industrial mecha. Use the direction keys, or click the right mouse button on the ground to move the mecha. In this mission, you'll control your mecha to navigate the universe and create miracles.
So, the approach that I've pretty much found is a pretty good way to get started here
Now
is...
please try to disassemble the space capsule. Click the right mouse
Quit
button to
interrupting me, Jesus. We're just going to leave him to his own thing here. What I'm doing is I'm gathering just a few things here to set up our initial base. Because we will want sort of like a temporary thing. We're going to want to gather, you know, things like stones and stuff like that. I guess I can disassemble this. There is apparently an achievement.
To collect resources like wood or gravel, click the right mouse button as well. In addition, you can hold shift and click the right mouse button on each of your targets to give a series of commands.
Cool. So, pretty
Some
much...
items are found after disassembling the space capsule. Click on the inventory button at the bottom right corner of the screen to open and check.
Okay, leave me alone, please. Anyway, we're gonna need to do some research here. I'm gonna go ahead. I think we have everything we need for electromagnetism. Potentially, I'm
You
gonna
can
queue
hold the
up
middle mouse button to rotate the camera,
some
or
stuff here.
scroll the mouse wheel to zoom in and out.
So the main thing is we want to get as much research going as we can. And I'm gonna start with electromagnetism. That'll give us things to unlock stuff. We're gonna get logistics, metallurgy, so we can smelt stuff, assembling the electromagnetic matrix next. And then finally, because we have enemies here, I'm going to do weapon systems, which will rely on that matrix. Now, you may be wondering why it is that I'm not entirely focused on other things. Oh, I guess we only got one. We didn't get any magnetic coals there. Okay, we need to be, I guess, farming the iron here. I'm just going to go ahead and crank this up to 10. You may be wondering why it is that, I'm going through this rather roundabout way of doing things, a more sedate pace. And it turns out that the dark fog is maybe not as threatening as it may first appear. So I don't know, I'm going to go through 50 of these or thereabouts. Which I think will mean we'll want one more. And we'll want to collect our copper too. Basically, we want to always be doing something for just a little bit of time that we're doing it. I'm going to take some of this fuel that I've harvested here and just keep it going just for a little bit so that I don't know what happens when you starve to death, or I guess whatever a robot does, but we are going to, I guess, begin producing everything else that we need here. So I think maybe 50 of each would be good. We definitely want to automate as much as we can. And yeah, we'll probably run into a couple more that we'll need here. But yeah, one thing I was going to say about the dark fog is that it's kind of weird that, they say that they're sensitive to EM, but they handle the light just fine. Why don't we get, I don't know, maybe 10 of these guys going? We only really have enough for 5, and I think, oh, you know what part of it is? We need more of these ferrite cores. So, we've already unlocked one thing.
You've obtained a mining machine. It automatically collects ores for you. You can select it in the inventory or in the construction collecting section to start building.
I may turn that dude off. He keeps on interrupting at inopportune times. And we'll move away whenever we have, oh, I don't know, 40 or thereabouts. One of the nice things is that you don't have to construct the prerequisites. It'll just automatically figure out what it needs to construct, which is good. we want really to have as much of this done as possible. Now, we really need to consider two things here. The first is, can we get all of this here? And I think there is a way. At least for us to be able to rotate at arbitrary angles. I think we just gotta come down here for now.
You've obtained
So that's gonna be
sorter
our
and conveyor
copper.
belt. Full automation is now possible. Use a conveyor belt to transport ores collected in the mining machine. The sorter will transport ores onto the conveyor belt into the arc smelter that will smelt them automatically.
I guess we'll make 10 more of these, and we'll make some of these, and then with the buildings,
You have an unpowered production facility.
yes,
To make it run
leave me
normally,
alone.
place it within the power grid coverage. Make sure power is supplied.
So I think maybe other than this, what we'll do is we will create a couple of turbines for us. We want to be mining as soon as possible. And one of the tricky things with this is actually okay because we got all 6 of these, so we'll get a full line.
Insufficient items. Click on the replicator button at the bottom right corner of the screen to open the replicator and manually replicate the required items.
And I guess we'll just begin mining here. We're going to set up a little temporary area for the time being. Oops.
A wind turbine. You've now built your first power grid. Some power facilities
And we can now take this and we can begin doing a bunch of production here. It's already within the first, 10 or so minutes or thereabout. We've done pretty decently. We'll control click, grab all of our ores and stuff just for now, because I want to be producing stuff that we need. And in this case, we're going to need a bunch of things. Having these little tracks here, for instance, would be good. These conveyors. And I'm going to turn this area mostly into a little starter production hub thing, a little temporary hub. We'll expand upon it later, but the thing is that this stuff will pretty soon run out of ore. And I kind of want to do that so that we are able to reclaim stuff. What else could we do? Well, we could, I guess, just go ahead and begin the process of building our little thing here. We are a little bit further away than I'd like to be, if I'm completely honest. There's unfortunately not much that can be done about that, and you can see we're already out of conveyor belts. Now, we've got 3 smelters, and this will be more than enough. I'm going to say that we value iron more than anything right now.
You've built an arc smelter, which automatically produces basic materials.
We're going to do
iron ingots and copper ingots.
the magnet,
However, to automatically feed in raw materials and feed out products, sorters and
copper,
conveyor belts are required.
and steel. I'm going to work from there.
Use less than key to copy the current recipe, and greater than key to paste the recipe to the next building.
And then we should, before too long, be able to just grab all of our ore here. Really, anything we can do to continue production here. And this is part of the reason why we're automating all of this, is because this is actually rather tedious. Now, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that this will give us, one thing here. We're just going to come down here. Again, this is a temporary setup. So I'm going to grab as much ore as I can. We're going to build even more of these. And right now, it'll honestly just be enough, at least from my perspective, it'll be enough for me to get everything going here. I think, or maybe, what's the transfer rate? Yeah, okay. We're good. I'm going to put down a little power thing here.
You've built your first power transmission facility, a Tesla tower.
And it is complaining.
Over a short range and extend the power grid coverage. Click on it to view more details.
So we're just going to continue building our stuff here. We've already got wind power and automation. Our next goal will very likely be to get this sorted out here once we have enough power. And I think it would just go ahead and make sense for us to go ahead and add in an extra little infeed there that we're producing. And in fact, what I'm going to do, I got plenty of this stuff here. We're bringing in, like 1 per second? Thereabouts. The line has 6 on it. So, we'll continue producing things here. And I guess, what's next up on the agenda? We'll just real quickly grab all these 2 things. In fact, we'll grab this too. And we will get our manual research on. Having a little bit of excess is okay. What are we researching anyway? We're researching the electromagnetic matrix, which is good, because that means we will be able to unlock our next thing. Let's go ahead, in fact, and look and see what else we can queue up. Electromagnetic drive actually could potentially be quite useful. There are certain things that depend on it. The engine 2, why don't we go fluid storage encapsulation is definitely a thing to go for. Smelting purification we're going to want for red science eventually. And then the combustible units. Not quite sure what does that lead into. I don't necessarily. I think that's just more efficient fuel. There are other things as well. Thermal power is good to get. Semiconductor material we will want to get eventually. High energy plasma control we're going to want as well. Okay, so we're pretty well queued up. Is there anything else? Oh yes, how could I forget? In fact, really, I want to do this first, I think. What else do we need? Is there anything that we can get that does not require other research? It doesn't look like it, so again, weapon system, EM drive, fluid thing, thermal power is good, semiconductors we'll wait on, steel and smelting purification. So we're going to have a lot to work towards. Why don't we just pull out what we have already? And I think we are actually probably pretty good to begin the maybe next phase of our construction here. So, we're going to want a couple more of these assemblers, because we're going to need to be making a few things out of them. We'll go ahead and start with one of them. And that one thing, rather, will be this guy here. We'll just built directly into it.
Please configure one for it.
We will set it up.
Press less than key to copy the current recipe.
And we're going to need a
Pressing
few more
greater than
conveyors,
paste the same recipe to the next building.
which I'm just going to go ahead and have it create many of.
Wrong connection type.
Oh yeah,
Use a
that's
shorter.
right.
There are two types of facility ports: connection ports and bridge ports. Connection ports are only compatible with conveyor belts, while bridge ports are only compatible with sorters. If a conveyor belt can't connect to a facility, try a sorter.
So yeah, we're going to just go ahead, sort of directly build the other guy here. Get as much of our automation done as we can.
Now you can click the planet thumbnail button at the bottom left corner of
And
the screen,
here,
or press M to enter planet view.
you know what? We're going to move that back. It doesn't have to be perfectly in line. However, I do want this thing... You know what? I actually want to replace these just a little bit, because here we can get really close to the conveyor belts that way. And actually, if we do it like this, then we'll start pumping this out really quickly. And then that means I don't think there's any use for some of this other stuff here. Let me just make sure we got, yeah, this is correct. And this is correct. And then we're going to want one, or a few rather. But the idea behind them is going to be really simple. We're going to create our gears. Ideally, we've got a few things we want to make here. Let me see if I think I've I got room for another one of these, so we'll put it in. Again, it's a temporary thing. But as you can see, we've already got this going. And then I want really as much throughput for this as I can possibly get. So we'll start out with one on each one, but we'll probably come back later on. Because, let's see, we could use just a little bit more here. Because we have some buffered up. And we're going to store all of these, probably. Because the idea is going to be as follows. That, well, what is it that we need? Manual research, we've already got that. We need our, let's take all of this. What else do we need for our little cubes? We need the electromagnetic cores, and this is already much, much easier. Now, we could continually produce these by hand. I don't really think that I want to, for a number of reasons. But some of them are pretty straightforward. One of them, in fact, what are we missing here? We need route of those. I'm just going to produce everything I need here, just for now. But the idea is basically that we're going to automate the science really quickly. Now, blue science is, of course, the lowest tier. But we can do a lot better with this once we're done. And the science is actually relatively straightforward to automate. In fact, if we wanted to, we could begin, I would say, automating it right now. So yeah, I guess what I'm going to do, since
You've built a depot for storing items. You can manually store items or use a sorter to automatically access items.
Since we got this, we'll save up to like 2 plates. I don't really think we need the little magnetic cores for anything, so maybe what I'll do.
If there isn't enough ground space, make more efficient use of your space by stacking matrix slabs, depots, storage tanks, and splitters.
So we're going to have just a little bit of a thing here, just to sort of build up our, thingamajiggers here.
Weapon system. Icarus can now use ammo. Press
And that
C
is
to
just
open
in
the
time.
Load the magazine and activate it. Use ammo to protect both yourself and the base when dark fog strikes.
Let's see. Do we have anything else here? I think we're largely good. We could do more smelting. I'm gonna wait on that just a little bit because I want to produce a couple of research facilities here. In addition to everything else that we need. Because you'll notice something very interesting about all this. Oh, you know what else I was going to do? I was going to work on... Well, we got that. Let's get a turret going. we will definitely be wanting to do the turret. And in fact, we're going to be wanting to do it so much that I think, if I'm completely honest, we're just going to go ahead and make the factory up here so that we can pretty much protect our base here. And we are almost out of energy. I guess the, mech has to eat. Proverbially, at least. So, if we can get this guy going, basically all of our excess I want to flow into here. But actually, I'm going to do something rather interesting here. We're going to give as much surface area as we can to that. And we just need to go out. Oops, wrong way. We need to go out like that. And then, let's see, are we going the right way? We have to select a recipe. We will pull in, we're going the wrong way. Which is unfortunate. Because there's not really a good way to turn these guys around. But we should now have enough storage for us to get our ammo going. And I'm just going to get these transferring over as quickly as we can. And this will be our main cache. We're not going to bother limiting these. But what I do want to do is I do want to start dumping pretty much as I can here. Now here's the thing with the turrets. They rather counterintuitively have some things. It has
You built a Gauss turret. This is a defense facility. It
Oh, we need
consumes
to plug
ammo
in.
and energy to strike enemies within its range. You can either directly build Gauss turrets on conveyor belts that are built on the ground, or use conveyor belts to string Gauss turrets together.
Alright, so we're actually pretty good, come to think of it. There were a couple of things I did want to build, which I have not permitted myself to yet. So we'll take what we've built here. And I guess we'll just build as many of these guys as we can. As we are dealing with severe power shortages. However, the good news is that we are well protected. If we zoom out here, then things will be going pretty well for us. Now, we don't really need to get the plasma cannon up that quickly. To be honest, that is a little bit of an extravagance. But, I mean, there's really nothing else we can do. about that. So I guess the next thing to really think about is our research. We want to automate these cubes here. This will, of course, be a temporary construction. However, I guess the main thing is that
Matrix Lab, a facility to produce matrices. It can also be used to research technologies that are unlocked with matrices. Matrices are the source codes to maintain the center brain simulation of a homeland. You can upload as many matrices to the center brain to run its simulation and unlock more technologies in the real world.
okay. So anyway, and I will probably have to step out for just a little bit after this. But the idea is that we're going to feed the ingredients to make science into this. And because of the way that we've sort of made this work out, we're sort of curved. But anyway, I will see you here in just a moment after I set that up. So, an unfortunate thing happened. I forgot to hit unpause on the recording, so we are actually way ahead. But I thought I would sort of bring you up to date with what we did already here. We got this guy set up, and then we've also got one of these matrix facilities automatically doing our science for us. So the way that works is we're bringing in these little circuit boards on conveyors here. And then we are now in the process of basically piping these guys over as quickly as we can. So it'll do a ton of research. And we're slowly in the process now of basically A, getting our research up to scratch here, and B, also getting our, I guess, all of our stuff producing really quickly. And you can see we've already got smelting purification. One of the things I was working on that is rather important is expanding. And we've got a few potential things that we could do there. Now we got our base here, and we've also got a copper node, which is almost, it's honestly almost covered. If we can get 6, that would be ideal, so I'm going to go for that. And then we might put one on the other side as well. Copper is going to be a huge bottleneck for us, as it is somewhat rare. What are we colliding with? We want to get at least 6, though. And we've unlocked the engine. Hooray! What are we... Okay, there's 6 there. Very good. Unfortunately, that thing's going to be something we're going to have to worry about. And that also kind of sort of means... Or that... Well, a couple of things. First of all, what I'd really like to do here is once we get our copper sorted out, which may kind of be a big if, we're just going to build this here so we can continue mining. I want to try to centralize base defense as much as possible. I guess what we'll do is we'll put this here. We could, in all honesty, you know what? Why don't we do this? We'll get complete coverage on that vein, because you can see these guys are going to be going down quite a bit. And we'd actually turn this vein here into really just what we need for the electromagnets. Because, yeah, we are barely using any of this. So, then the plan is going to be as follows. First of all, I would really like to have a plant, and this is rather important, but I'd like to have a plant that can make, as far as I'm concerned, these logistics items. And fortunately, we could do that. But it will take a little bit of work. Lack of item is why we can't put that there. Why don't we get buildings going? Let's build a couple of these guys. We're going to need more stone pretty soon. And stone is all the way down here. It's actually quite a way away, which is a bit unfortunate for us. We have 46 of this here. I don't know. Insufficient power is a thing, unfortunately. We will have to handle that. Because, I mean, we should be pretty well set up here, but... can we get this going? Yeah, we can get this going. Oh yeah, I was gonna make one of these. Oh, there we go. So I just want to get as much of this going as we can. We got semiconductor materials, which is nice. And are we still insufficient power? It's looking like it. We're gonna have to try very hard to... I'm not sure why we got insufficient power. Oh, we're not at 100% sufficiency. That's probably why. So let's see. I'm gonna just go ahead. These are kind of low priority tasks. You know, in fact, I'm just gonna let it do like that. And the question is gonna be, do we let this fill up? It says lack of material Y. Probably because we went the other way around. It'd be nice if we could switch directions. Oh, we need gears. Well, that's actually maybe not a bad thing to start planning. You know, we don't have a gear manufacturer here. And there's a little trick we can use as well. If we, for instance, say we want to produce gears, if we hit the less than sign and then right then we, writer than or greater than, writer than's an interesting word. But if we do that, and I'm just going to move this just a little bit so we have a little bit more in the way of room. Then we can just start picking off the line here. And I'm honestly going to say this is going to be okay.
Abnormal dark fog signals detected. A significant statistical correlation exists between the density of these signals and our power consumption. On this planet, dark fog is monitoring our energy fluctuations to determine how much threat we pose to them. When this threat peaks, they may launch an attack. The upper left corner of the screen shows the cumulative threat to each hive.
Well, thank you for that, I guess. I'm not quite sure why we've got this thing going on. But now we'll just, let's see, how much do we have? I think it would be great to just sort of bootstrap, our abilities here. And we'll bridge over. Like that. Those gears could be used for other things, but I just want to produce as many of these as possible. And I think we're just going to real quickly grab these guys. Any amount that we make will transfer over. Lack of items. Okay, that's fine. And you can already see that compared to this guy over here, we've already got a great deal of things done. So here's the question. Okay, I think I see what's going on here. We done goofed. What I mean by that is that we have the opportunity to saturate this completely, which we're now doing because we had the belts the wrong way. And mass construction level 1. We can do Control C. I think if we go to our
blueprint, you can now make batch copies of production line plans. Press Control and C to enter copy mode. Click the left mouse button to select the desired area. Then press Control and V to paste the copied blueprint. Alternatively, press 0 to open the blueprint library, where you can browse and use all saved blueprints.
So we'll do that. This is going to be...
Huge industrial empire.
we're going to call this Basic Smelter Core. Basic Smelter Core. And we've got energy. Let's actually go check our research, because
You've unlocked Energy Shield. It can resist all damage from enemies and protect all facilities within its radius. Energy Shield requires Mecha's core energy to charge. The charging speed depends on the current fuel chamber power generation, as well as the Mecha's current energy percentage. Once the shield's power is exhausted, it takes some time to restart.
I guess we should just real quickly go through and maybe get all of the stuff. Let's see, that's magnetic levitation. We'll go for battlefield analysis space. All the stuff we can get. Proliferator Mark II, maybe not quite. However, there are many upgrades that we can get. And honestly, there are a few that I want. So I want to be able to move faster. This inventory capacity, I think, is going to be really important. We'll just get everything here queued up that we can. Because, so for the vertical construction, we need red science. Same with vein utilization. And all of our queues are full, so we'll come back. For now, I think we're A-okay. And I think what we'll begin doing is we'll begin smelting this copper properly. Which will be good. In fact, I'm going to do something very special with the copper, I think, once we're ready. We got the splitters here, which are nice. But we got that little blueprint. We can maybe paste it. We just need a couple more of these smelters. I guess some stone. We really need to be getting onto stone mining pretty soon. Where is that other smelter? Okay. We need circuit boards. That can be done. Because I want to start mass producing these circuit boards too. They're very important. But really, in order to handle this, I guess what I'll do, we should have plenty. Yeah, we have plenty of these guys here. We'll put down the basic smelter. Okay, I think I have figured it out. What we do is we go to Control V, and if we go to the Explorer, we can double click on this. Except we have it the wrong way around. We got our plasma stuff. So really what we need to do, let's try this again. We double click. And there we go. So that should be pretty good for us, but we have one other trick up our sleeve as well. Since we unlocked the level 2 logistics, we have a splitter. And that way we don't have throughput issues. And the only thing we gotta do now is change the arc smelter. And the way we do that is like that. Again, we'll just paste all that in.
A splitter. It can split the cargo passing through or manage the cargo on multiple conveyor belts. The splitting speed depends on the conveyor belt speed. Press Tab to switch between different patterns. Click on it to set priorities and filters.
And there we go. We are now splitting equally between the two. And we now have a very reliable supply of copper. We're going to take those copper plates. And we are going to, I guess, bring them up. Like so. Looks like we have a vein there as well. Now this area could be at risk because it's outside of our zone. Just ever so slightly. So one of those might get destroyed. And we need to harvest some trees. Now, I do have these fuel rods here. I don't know quite yet what they're used for. So I'm going to hold off on them.
The production facility has stopped running. If it's not due to a power failure, check if products overflow, or if there aren't enough raw materials.
Yes, I'm
These
aware
may
of
cause
that.
facilities
Quit
to fail.
annoying me.
Plan your factory in a reasonable manner, and balance production and consumption to ensure orderly operation.
Alright, so we're just going to real quickly mine ourselves some coal so that we can I guess if nothing else, get this sort of set up. But this does allow us a number of things. I will eventually put a coal plant down here. But for right now, what I want to do is I think I want to rip up some of this stuff here. We no longer have much of a need for some of these. And so my thought is it, for instance, we can get rid of this. Just took this guy directly in. We have battlefield analysis. Very good. I'm kind of hoping that'll link up. I don't think it will. I could be mistaken about that. Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's not going to link up. Okay. I see what you're trying to do here. We'll fix you here in a bit. So we've at least got this guy going now. What are we missing? Well, we are... It looks like what we're missing for the most part is just stuff like coal. So if we make another smelter, another 6 of them in fact, because what are we going to need? We're going to need stone. I'm just going to go way over here and minus some stone. As much as I really don't want to waste the energy doing it, it's gonna be quite a while before we can get the rest of this going, so we will mine stone, and I'll see you here in a little bit. Okay, I think we're good enough for now. So the plan's gonna be, we're maybe gonna turn this area into our ammunition depot. But actually, refactoring this should not be too terribly difficult. Because we have a good blueprint now. So if we just go maybe like that, collides with other objects. Yeah, okay. Well, in fact, before we build that, is I'm just going to pull this back some. I'm going to grab that because I don't think we really need, honestly, too much more. And what's the issue here? We're no longer doing research because we're not picking anything off the line. So we'll just let that do its thing. We have this right here. Maybe make another splitter. which that should be perfect. And then we'll go through here, we will set this up. For smelting. And we could slowly begin the process of refactoring this. Which leads us to an interesting question. What do we do here? Because, I mean, we can honestly get rid of all of this at this point. It's no longer necessary. And now we're going to be producing a great deal of stuff. And all this can therefore move. So having our central ammo depot, I think, would be very good. And then what's required for this? 4 in total? Might be worth it. Just moving this closer if we can. That way we're constantly producing. So this will slowly go down. And then as far as the rest of this, I'm going to say that it's now time and what it's time for is it's time for us to consider what it is that we're going to be doing with the rest of this. Well, I think what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and do our usual, deal with the smelting here. We're going to need, 6 of these guys. Probably will want some storage as well, to be honest. And then that's going to very briefly create power shortages. That'll be okay for now. Because what I really want is I'm going to make me really a couple of these guys here. Oh, yeah, don't delete our turret, please. But we're going to go through. I'll rotate this a bit. And I guess we'll put all this back in. We're going to have to start migrating to a different form of power pretty soon. This is getting quite difficult, as it turns out. But we have a few things that we can do. So, first of all, I'm going to say that we probably have gotten everything we're going to get out of this. Because the other thing, well, we could use this partially for steel. Come to think of it. Which I would be very happy about, because I believe with the steel, it'll put us on the road to being very close to our red cubes. We need a few other things for them. But let's just set down real quick one of these smelters. And let's see, what does steel require? 3 to 1. Okay. Well, that's not too bad, all things considered. So the way I'm going to handle this is I'm going to pipe these guys over here. We'll throw down another thing. I'm going to try and, I guess, hold off until we get attacked again, so that we can at least see that. But we're going to need magnets, and we know that the magnets, honestly, we don't need a lot of them. So we'll go through, we'll make steel out of that. Let's see what else we can do. Fine, just throw this down here. Then what I'm thinking we do next, we can generate our steel our circuit boards, maybe. Let's see, do we have a... Let's build another turret or two. Because I would actually really like to get this guy going. So yeah, I guess I will get this set up real quick, and I will see y'all here in a little bit. Okay, so we got our little thingies built. There's really only one other thing. And in fact, I'm gonna... Wow, we can build a lot of those. I'm gonna even do something real quick, which I think should be quite handy. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to completely reroute this. It is becoming a bit spaghettified. Unfortunately, ain't much we can do about that for now. But we are producing, which is good. And we can use the remainder of this copper here along with this steel to maybe work some magic. Yeah, I guess we'll just sort of do like that. So now the thing we need to do, very likely at least, because when we're done, even when that vein runs out, we have a pretty decent way of recovering everything. So what I want to do now, we're going to make us some factories. I don't know how much, really. And you know, I guess while we're at it, wrong way round. Well, we'll set it up so that, oh, you know, this guy over here, let's see where we at. Honestly, if I can get something on the coast like this, that would be wonderful. We'll just have to move stuff around.
Turret is short of ammo. Most turrets need ammo to fire. Click on a turret to open its panel and replenish ammo manually.
Come on, I just built that thing.
Supply ammo with conveyor belts.
Okay, core
Warning.
energy.
Insufficient core energy. Press C.
I
open
am
the
going
mecha
to
panel
turn that
and
dude off
replenish
at
the
some
fuel
point,
chamber.
I think.
The enemies on this planet are watching you like hawks. Without sufficient energy, they'll be defenseless against them.
Which I guess means we need to real quickly harvest stuff. Just enough so that we can fill up our thing here. Because the planetary base is about to come after us, and I for one welcome it. I think 50 should be good enough for now. There is something that we got that should help. Alright, there we go. We are defended again. We might have to rework that at some point, but that'll work for now, because what I want to do next is I want to create... Okay, we got linkage there, very good. I want to create a factory for our, whatchamacallit, our little circuit boards. And that should be pretty much fine. I mean, we got more or less everything we need. And all we've got to do... Well, let's see. If we come over here, we'll make circuit boards, we'll copy that. We'll have this come out the back. And we should be pumping these out pretty quickly. In fact, I'm going to double up the copper. You know, just to make sure. Lack of material is still sort of an issue here. So I guess we're gonna have to move some stuff around. Because that guy's starved. But the idea will be pretty simple back here, what we're going to do. We'll have our circuit boards come out here. And we'll actually go through and properly upgrade these. I am aware of the fact that we can, in fact, upgrade them. You can see we're producing a lot now. So now all we got to do...
Your vein is almost depleted. Ore reserves in each vein is limited. Once exhausted, the supply of raw ores can no longer be guaranteed, which will adversely impact production lines. Exploit new veins for replacement. Additionally, upgrade vein utilization to reduce ore loss during mining operation.
You know what, as well? I forgot. And maybe I should do this. We'll just grab all the steel we can from this for now. Dark Swarm is coming, though. Alright, go away, please. I'd like to be able to see where they're coming. They appear to be coming this way. So yeah, with proper defenses, these guys are actually not too hard. In fact, the first couple of waves you can fight off just by yourself. But we got 8 units coming. And there we go, they are coming over the horizon. You can see we can handle this pretty easily. Unfortunately, as far as I'm aware, you cannot reclaim them. It would be nice if you could, but They're trying to get a little sneaky over here. But there we go. Let's just get this guy wired up. And then I will say after that that will be the end of it for now. And we're just going to do what we can to maybe get, let's see. Let's just use our long gibbon arms.
When building a conveyor belt, confirm its starting point and end point.
Yeah, it's not like I haven't built any conveyor belts.
Use down arrow to lower the conveyor belt one level if it has been raised. Press keypad 0 to reset the conveyor belt to ground level. To avoid the conveyor belt snapping to a building, try holding shift.
But yeah, generally speaking, I mean, I think we are A-okay with this. We can do some refactoring. And I'm just going to get these guys brought in as soon as we can. And we should be seeing this thing pretty much work at full capacity now. I don't know why it is that we are not actually moving forward. But yeah. That's what this thing looks like when it's full. So yeah, I guess we're going to have to figure out why it is that those things aren't transferring. They're supposed to, I think. But I feel that this is a good stopping point. So until then, this has been Thy Lord Root, and I shall see you next time.